Hello and welcome to Tabletop Oddity. My name is Jay, and today I'm just going to be probably rambling a little bit about how many games is too many games. Now, the reason I'm asking this is because I realised out of the 3 games that I play, I'm not very good at them. And I think that's one of the questions is how many games is too many. It boils down to like how good do you want to be at the game, so how competitive are you, how much money those games cost, which is fair enough, and like I guess it's sort of very similar to the first one, is how much time it takes, but not just in the sense of how much time the game it takes to play, but how much it takes to like prep, so like for painting and stuff like that. So I realised, as I said, I'm not very good at any of these games that I'm playing. Kill Team, Legion, and X-Wing. Legion I'm okay at, to be fair. If I run a competitive list, I actually think that's probably my safest bet. I could probably do the most okayest work there. X-Wing I'm pretty garbage, never played X-Wing 1 properly, and playing X-Wing 2 I'm getting smashed, but that's fine because you know, it's a competitive game. A lot of people are very competitive at it. And Kill Team, I'm actually struggling to find events, so I'm not really going to be able to get good at that. So that leaves me with the question, like, is 3 actually too many? Because if I want to be good at them, and I want to have the YouTube channel, and I have a job, and I've got a girlfriend / fiance, is 3 too many games? Am I going to struggle? I'm actually going to specifically allocate some time to try and learn these games, to try and get better at these games. And I've got to say, Tabletop Simulator is actually helping me out quite a great deal. And I've signed up for a X-Wing League at Stockport Element Games. There's a link in the description below. It's actually, if you buy stuff, you give me money, but you can just find the Facebook group and stuff like that through that if you want. So I'm trying to improve my competitiveness, but that was like, oh, I wonder how many people or how many games other people play and for what reasons. So I think competitive is definitely one. I feel like a lot of people play like X-Wing as their main competitive game and then maybe like a side game for a bit of fun. And I feel like that might be, a lot of people might do stuff like that. Or if you are on the hobbyist side of things, you might just buy lots of stuff. You might have the time necessarily, or you might not have the time in the sense that you might buy lots of minis and then not paint them. I feel like I'm talking to you. Yes, you. Yeah, everybody does that, I think. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people do that, and I'm no exception. Like, I have to got a lot of my Legion stuff, but that's all unpainted. Yeah, I feel like it's very easy to get taken by the hype. So it's like, oh, Kill Team's just come out, oh, Rogue Trader's just come out, oh, Star Wars Legion, oh, new X-Wing. It's very easy to just want to buy the new stuff, and time-wise, you might not have time to actually, well, 1, get good at those games if you want to get good at those games, or 2, even just paint up the models and play those games, because the games might take that long, like the miniatures might take that long to paint. The games themselves might be 3 hours or what have you. So I definitely think that is a factor. I think Tabletop Simulator is actually a good, quick way of getting games in. And then obviously you've got the factor of money. This is not a cheap hobby. You need to have some sort of disposable income. And even though you might be able to afford like a computer game once a month for 60 quid, buying 5 in a month might be a little bit excessive. And I sort of feel like that's the way with wargaming. Like, a lot of people can probably afford 1, maybe even 2, but the more war games you start adding, the more that cost starts like exponentially increasing. And I wonder like how many people just simply can't afford more hobbies. I probably could if I cut down what I wanted to buy into like smaller chunks. Like, I could buy a team of I want to say Shadespire Night Vault. I could buy some Gaslands cars in the book, and it wouldn't really impact me too much, but I wouldn't be able to concentrate on those games. For me, that's more of like how many games can I juggle with my mind rather than how much I can actually afford. Obviously, I probably couldn't afford a 40k army, an Age of Sigmar army, a War Machine army. They would all start racking up, but the smaller scale games you absolutely could, I think. Well, most people probably could. Obviously, if you don't have much money and you're playing war games, you're going to really suffer anyway. But we'll probably, I try and do like budget versions of stuff, so eventually we'll do budget versions of everything. But yeah, so that's my preface, is like, I personally am struggling to be competitive because of time. I'm trying to rectify that both with just playing as many games as possible and allocating time to research stuff. But it got me thinking, I have a lot of unpainted Legion stuff. Maybe you guys are struggling to keep up to date, and it's very easy to just be like, oh, you know, I really like this Vanguard. This is Kings of War Vanguard's interesting. And yet you've still got your unpainted Kill Team stuff that are lying on your desk. Or maybe you actually can paint them all. Maybe that's the kind of thing you really like doing, but then you don't have the time to play. Or maybe it's like, I'm out of money, I can't afford all this stuff, but I really want it. Yeah, like I think you've got to look inside yourself. But no, look at your own schedule. Try and think what you can get, what you want from it. So if it's like, oh, you want to be competitive, it's probably a good idea to reduce the number of games so you can focus on 1 or 2, not like 3 like I'm trying to do, which is stupid. And if you're short of money, then you maybe want to pick like a skirmish game instead of a big ass war game. You know, Kill Team instead of 40k would be a classic example, or even like X-Wing instead of, I was going to say Armada, but I don't actually think I don't know what the cost difference is there, but you know, you want a couple of small miniatures rather than lots and lots of miniatures. If you're short of money, if you're short of time, full stop, then I mean, I would pick a shorter game like a Kill Team or an X-Wing. There aren't really any miniature games, I think, with lots of models that are quite quick. At least I don't know of them. So the amount of miniatures sort of goes hand in hand with the amount of time it takes. If you really are short of time and you don't want to paint any miniatures, something like X-Wing is the game probably for you. This isn't really about me finding the game for you. This is just saying these games fit into these sort of categories for obvious reasons. So, you know, if you really are super short of time, then a game where you literally don't have to paint them, that takes like half an hour to an hour, would be ideal. X-Wing takes a bit longer than that, but I don't know about hero clicks or something like that. If you really are short of money, then there's probably a good game that will like suit you. Maybe something like Night Vault might suit you. Don't actually know. Now there's a lot of, the reason I bring this up as well is like, obviously I'm having difficulty with the competitive side of things, but there's a lot of games that I really get like, is it itchy fingers? I really want to play. I really want to play Gaslands. I really want to play Night Vault. Even War Machine occasionally like tempts me. Guild Ball tempts me. Vanguard is tempting me. But I know I don't have the time to paint those miniatures, to play those games and to get good at them. And if I can't, I don't want to be super competitive, but if I can't be at least vaguely okay, then I'm not really going to play a game long term. Like the competitive scene sort of interests me, so it's quite important to me. But yeah, it's so, how do you avoid, I guess this is a better question, how do you avoid buying into the hype and then not fulfilling the promise of that game? Like, have you bought into Kill Team, but maybe you've not had time to paint the miniatures? Have you bought an Age of Sigmar army and then never finished it? And you're like, oh, I really should, but I didn't have the time to do that. I'm just intrigued. How many games do you play? Really is the core question here. And how many, and like why? What do you play them for? Do you play them because you just like the miniatures? Do you play them because you want to get good at them? Yeah, this very rambly video. I'm going to go. If you like this video, do like. If you've not already subscribed, then do. You can always Patreonize me there. Have a beautiful day. Goodbye.